you and for me. See on the portals he's waiting and watching for you and for me. Come home, ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, O sinner, come home. Why should we tarry when Jesus is pleading for you and for me? Why should we linger and heed not his mercies for you and for me?
Hey, welcome to Vespers. We're so glad that you have joined us this evening again as we gather together, even though we're separated, to remind ourselves that we're not alone. So tonight we begin lighting this candle, celebrating the presence of Christ in us, among us, and beyond us, and remembering all of those in our community and in our community of faith who are suffering this evening. Over the last few weeks, I've been working on some house projects, most recently on our back porch. I spent a lot of time thinking about what to do, planning out how I was going to go about this, and eventually all of those plans changed as I got into the work. It seems like sometimes we just have to go for it, to take the first step, and to realize that the project, whatever it is, will probably take longer than we expect, with more trips to Lowe's and present several surprises along the way. But in many ways, I think this is the beauty and the art of life. We step out into the unknown and we trust that deep down, this world is made by love. Well, tonight we get to talk with Linda McCubbin. Linda is an attorney here in Lexington, and she's been at Central for a while now, and we're so excited to get to talk with her. So let's go now and talk with Linda. Hey, Linda, how are you doing?
Doing well, Aaron. How are you?
Good. It's so good to get to talk with you today. I'm so glad that you took the time out to catch up with us and see how things are going.
You know, the social calendar's really booked these days. What can I say?
Are you getting out a lot and got a lot of things going on?
No, I'm not getting out. I still don't feel comfortable going into restaurants, so I don't do that. But I do my social distancing thing in the backyard with people, and so I've been the initiator of that a couple of times because, yeah, you kind of go stir crazy if you're not allowed to do that. So that's my reprieve at times.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good to have some folks over and be able to distance and those kind of things. That's it's hard to find the balance right now. So
Extremely hard to find the balance.
Yeah.
So
well, this all affects us in different ways. So just in general, kind of like, what are your days like now? Are you finding yourself more busy, less busy, somewhere in between, a different kind of weird busy? What's been going on?
I've been very lucky in those respects because I know a lot of people have been furloughed, out of work, or in really stress environments where they have to be around people. Because of the nature of my work, I'm an attorney. I do predominantly now, as my practice, is mediations and arbitrations. So what that means is courts refer things to me to resolve before they get to the trials. And attorneys come to me to try to end their cases amicably before they spend a lot of money going through the judicial process. So I've been able to do my business through Zoom. So I've really not had an interruption in my business. I've been doing 2 Zoom mediations a day, 5 days a week, pretty much since mid-March. So I feel very fortunate to be able to continue to do that. I don't have to have people come in my office. Like right now, I'm at home. I did a meeting this morning. I'll do one this afternoon. Sometimes I go in the office, some just because I don't want my 9-month-old puppy barking all the time at me. But other than that, I've been very, very fortunate to be able to continue with my business. So,
Well, that's good.
so my days work-wise don't seem to be much different. It's the social interaction that has really been affected more than anything. I did get a lot of reward interacting with the lawyers because I have lawyers from all over the state, out of state, come into my office, and without that, you don't have that interaction. And I love to travel, and I love to have people over into my home, and that's been truly effective. So that's how it's been. It's been with me.
Yeah. Well, did you do any work over Zoom before, or did you just have to jump into Zoom work totally right at the beginning of this?
I jumped into it, and at my age, which is not under 30, I pride myself in trying to be technologically up there with people, and I thought, oh my heavens, I've got to get into this, and it was so easy. I took a seminar. I'm a member of an organization that kind of put things out there for us and said, try these, we recommend these. And my administrative assistant and myself did it for like 30 minutes, this little webinar thing. We got it, we're good to go. And so now we've become the gurus telling these lawyers, oh, it's easy, we'll get you through it. And half the time we're like, what are we doing? But it worked really well. So yeah, I just had to get up and running and had about a day to do it, and telling everybody I'm the guru on it, whether I am or not.
Wow. Well, that's great.
This worked pretty well. Yeah, just not being fearful and jumping in and doing it. That's what you had to do. So it's a sign of the times, and we did it.
Yeah.
So
I used to work with a lady who I learned so much from when I was teaching, and she said, fake it till you make it.
exactly. We don't like to admit that sometimes, but truly that's part of it. So it's all good.
Yeah, you never know till you get in there sometimes. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, can you tell us a little bit maybe about your background, where you're from, how you came to Central, and those kind of things?
Sure. I was born, bred, and raised in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So I was probably more familiar with Tennessee politics and basketball and all that stuff.
Oh, Tennessee basketball! Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because we got all Nashville TV, but came to Lexington to go to law school, and I'd done an internship when I was in college in Frankfurt, and in the middle of a snowstorm, my dad dumped me off and said, "Good luck." And I knew nothing about the town, and I drove to this little church on Sunday. I was desperate. I said, I got to get out. And I walked in, and that became my church home. And the minister of that church was Dr. Lord, believe it or not, and he was really good friends with Bill Turner. So when I came to Lexington, I checked with him because I really thought the world of this guy. And he said, you need to try Central. So as a law student, I went, and Ken Bailey was there. Ken Bailey led the young adults. That's when I met Jeff Fox, all these people that just became very close friends of mine. Bill and Carol Martin, those people. And so I went to school. Went to 3 years of law school. I moved away to Paducah to practice law, came back to Central Kentucky after 2 years, and came back to Central. And I was married, started having children, that type of thing. And, the Grubbs, the Martins, the Foxes. I just met all those people, and they're just good people, good people. And then when my children got to be a little older, I thought I needed something different. The old fundamentalist style background you have, and this is what kids need to learn. So I left Central and went to the Methodist Church, and stayed there until I divorced. And then when I divorced, they didn't really know what to do with me. And so I felt displaced, and I still had remained friends with Jeff and Teresa Fox all those years. And I'll never forget, Jeff and Teresa invited my daughter and myself to go on a trip with them. And not too many people would invite a single woman and their child to go on a trip. And I thought, that's really big. And Jeff kept saying, why don't you just come back? And I said, I will. And my daughter really felt, like a sense of belonging in the youth group with Ken Bailey. He was great. And I just felt like I'd come home. And although there had been a gap in years, there was no gap. And so I'm very grateful to the spirit of Central. Truly blessed to be part of that and to have experienced that in a church. It's not that common. And that's sad. I wish it were more common than it is, but it's there at Central, and I felt home. So
that's beautiful.
I've been through Gerard, I've been through Spurgeon Hayes, I went through those people, and and then I came and I met Mark, and there we go.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's beautiful. It's a kind of theme that comes up again and again with Central, where there's just a welcoming spirit, and people find, and I have found grace in this place that I did not expect.
That's it. It's oftentimes we have a hard time giving grace, and I'm included, but I always felt like grace was given to me at Central, and everybody needs it, and I needed it, and I received it, and I'll be forever grateful to the church for giving me that. So
yeah, well, that's great. It's wonderful to get to say, what, we're just we're welcome, and we're welcomed again and again and again. And yeah, it's beautiful. So, well, that's great to hear. I didn't realize that you'd been here and then gone away and then come back and all that. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So now you talked a little bit about pastimes and activities that you like to do, and some of that's visiting with people and traveling. Can you tell us a little bit? You haven't been able to travel lately, but what are some of the places that you've traveled to that you've enjoyed the most?
My mother instilled in me the bug for travel, really did. And I had my first taste of real travel, when my dad converted a laundry truck to a camper. My dad could do anything. And so there were 4 kids in my family, my mom and dad, and we go for 6 weeks in this converted RV laundry truck or thing that Dad had created. And we go the southern route to California, up through California, and the northern route home, and stop at every state and national park. The outside of it was painted two-tone pink. So I like to travel a little more anonymously than I did when I was a kid. But so now that I've gotten older, my retirement plan is not to retire, but to take a month off a year and live someplace different. So I can experience people, experience the way they live, their cultures. So I did that first about 4 years ago, and I did Italy. And I plan it myself. I do Airbnb, so it's economical. And that was phenomenal. And then I did it last September, and I'm so thankful I did because of COVID-19. But I went to Eastern Europe. I always wanted to go to Poland, to Czechoslovakia, to Hungary, Dachau, Auschwitz, did all that, and it's just life changing to me to see what other cultures have gone through and what they're going through now, and what we so take for granted. So that's what I get from travel. It's just opening my eyes to see how other people see the world and how other people see us, because we're not seen very well in a lot of places. So that's what I do. So I miss the ability to travel, but my way of coping with that during COVID-19 is I have breakfast every morning. I'm a dish freak. I just have to admit I'm a dish freak. China, anything, I love it. So I bring back something from all my travels, and every morning for breakfast, I'll have my tea. I'm a tea drinker. I will have tea in a cup I got from Germany or Austria or Poland or someplace. So that reminds me of my travels, and I feel like I'm back there.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a great way to
It's
that's
a
a
way
great
of
way to do that. Yeah.
coping. So I like that, but I'll look forward to the day I can go back and do it again. But I've been able to do that, and I've been really thankful that I've been able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and what an important thing to be able to gather, whether it's through traveling or through some other means, to be able to see other people's perspectives and points of view. Um, that's really an um, important activity to engage in for us to be able to see things anew and fresh.
I agree. It helps me. It helps me grow, and it helps me understand. And that's the goal, is to try to understand where other people are coming from. Not that I'm going to agree with them, but just to try to understand where they're coming from. And that's not easy sometimes, and I don't always accomplish it, but I try. So
Well, it sounds too like that's kind of tied in with your work as well. If you're trying to arbitrate between two different parties, finding some common ground there as well.
I listen to a lot of people, and I listen to a lot of stories. I do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, um, what are the is what have you learned from your work too? What are things that you've taken away from that? Things that you've learned in this work of mediation between people?
Now, when you talk to me, I'm forming ideas in my head, and I'm forming opinions in my head, and I'm gonna give you feedback. If I'm not buying it, I'll tell you I'm not buying it, because I can have an idea in my head how I'm coming across, and you may say, "Oh heavens, no, you're coming across totally different." My husband will say to me now, "Did you mean to have an edge in your voice?" I was like, "No." He goes, "Well, you did." "Oh, really? Okay." So it's how we're heard, and so a lot of my work is letting them know how they're heard, and whether I think 12 people that they don't know is going to buy it or not. So that's kind of what I do, and then try to get them nervous. If I can get everybody nervous, then I can usually get a case settled. Get both sides nervous, they're like, "Do this," and we can get it. So now you know all my tricks. What can I say?
Well, knowing tricks and being able to actually do the job and make that happen have to be incredibly different. So,
I've been very lucky that I just fell into this as part of my practice. Way back in 1992, I started doing this as part of my practice. So it's been, when it was very, very new in Kentucky. In fact, I was probably one of the first in Kentucky to do this. So I've been very fortunate, timing wise, to fall into this.
and yeah, an important thing for us to take away too, I think, is how people just want to be heard.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so often that's it, and giving folks time to do that, or I realize maybe that's what I just want you to hear me. I want you to understand where I'm coming from, and to be able to step back without emotion in it, and to express yourself or to listen to somebody else. That has to be difficult skill
I've
to be
cried
able
with
to
people.
develop
I've
them.
cried with people. I've some situations are very, very sad, and they need to know that. And it's honest. It's not like I'm just faking it to make them feel good. It's, this is a horrible situation you're in. I can't make it go away. Let's just see if we can end it for you, end this part for you. You're going to live with this forever, and I know that. But if this part can end, maybe you can move forward in some other.
Well, we've talked a little bit about what you're doing to stay sane. You know, tea in the morning from different places and travels. Is there anything else that you've been doing lately to stay sane as you've had to physically distance from folks?
Well, I'm a big doing that because I kind of, I don't know, prepared for doing stuff on my own timetable without being controlled by a gym or a exercise class or something like that. So I've been able to do that at home. So I play pickleball twice a week outside. I can bike outside. I can do, but pickleball's fun. So it's a lot.
Now, I remember now that you play pickleball, and I also remember that I still have absolutely no idea what pickleball is. Can you explain it
Well,
just a little bit?
anybody that wants to come play, just let me know because I am on it. Um, you play with a racket that looks racquetball racket, except it's strung racket. It's a solid head racket. Like the ball looks like it's a harder form of a wiffle ball with holes in it, so it doesn't bounce like a tennis ball. You usually play doubles because you know the ball doesn't bounce very far, and you gotta can't control the whole court. But it's fast paced. It's fun. You play and you have to win by two. It's just a lot of fun.
That's really cool. So a game that you can play physically. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. I didn't. I really didn't realize exactly kind of how it was set up, and so you can still play that physically distanced from people.
Yes,
Um,
we
yeah.
each have our own. We have to sanitize it. We sanitize our hand. Yeah, we do all that stuff. So it's fun.
Wow. Well, this may be the game for quarantine. So, what about family? How's everybody else doing?
My siblings are doing well. I've got three siblings. They're all doing well, and none of them live near me. My closest sibling lives. Well, my one sister lives in Bowling Green, one lives in Hopkinsville, and their sister lives in North Carolina. But we're all doing well. My mother is. This has been probably the toughest thing. My mother is 93, and she is in memory care in Bowling Green. Knows who all of us are, but cannot live independent. So that's been on total lockdown, and we've not been able to see mom since February, and you know, that's kind of tough, but we Zoom with her and but we're just glad that the facility, that's Village Manor in Bowling Green, is doing everything possible to keep it safe. So we have no qualms about it with them. And mom's happy. We can take her things and they take it into her and those kind of things. So we do that. I have my son and his wife and my grandbaby of 8 months that live in New Jersey in the hot spot. So that's been tough. Got to their house, didn't leave their house except to walk my grandson Felix, and then drove 10 hours home, stopped twice. So, and it was a good window to do it because now the cases in Kentucky are rising. New Jersey's holding their own.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I'm so glad that you got to go see them. And travel has to be difficult and scary right now.
And my daughter lives in D.C. and she came home. She said, "Mom, I live in a 1,000 square foot apartment. I'm Zooming and WebExing all my meet. I'm doing everything remotely."
Well, that's great. Well, how's Neil doing too? Is he
He's
doing all
doing
right?
fine. He's working well, and his family's all well. So, and his mother's 95, and she's doing great. So, we've been very lucky that no one has been, I guess, silly and not taking the precautions. I mean, we all take the precautions we need to take, and but we know it needs to be done, so we do what we have to do. Try to make your face mask as pretty as possible. What else can you do? It's like, whoa. I don't go for the basic black, I'll tell you.
Whatever you can do to find a bright spot and to bring some joy to the midst of this is what we got to do.
Exactly. And it makes no political statement either. A mask doesn't make any political statement. It's just decorative. That's it.
Right.
So,
yeah, just some hope and joy. Well, it's been so good talking to you, and it's been so refreshing get to see you again, because we see each other in early worship a lot,
yeah.
And I haven't got to see you there for a while.
I miss early worship. I miss Jane Tatum playing. I miss the dulcimer. Enjoyed that, and you always did a really good job with that. And the people I just met that I don't think I would have met.
Yeah,
it's come back.
Yeah, eventually, but it's been good to get to continue online even now. So, did you have a devotional thought or a poem or a prayer or something you like to offer?
I do, and this is not mine. I will say this, and I got to find it because I had it up and then I lost it. This is from my daughter-in-law, who my son is a Lutheran minister in New Jersey, and my daughter-in-law is going through the ordination process through the Lutheran Church as well. And she wrote this, so I hope she does it. And move packages from here to there, who mop after critical care. You, the one who society deems as a hero, but feel nothing or maybe a hint of something. Is it fear, exhaustion, depletion? Or maybe it's just that not showing up means the paycheck won't either. But neither will that moment when the young one paid it forward, a clapping of hands as you finish the last chore, a patient recovered, a family restored. You who see the blurred lines of despair and hope, of hoarding and giving, the wrestling inside where demons keep rising, but so does the light exposing a steadfast belief in hope and love. And that blessing such as this means something to a God who lifts up the lowly and who will fill your hunger with a promise that tomorrow will be eternally better. And that's from my daughter-in-law to all of you.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Linda.
You're welcome.
And it's been so great to talk with you too, and to get to see you and hang out today. So thank you so much for taking time out to do this. All right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to maybe check out some YouTube videos on this and see if maybe we can learn it. Okay. Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much. We'll talk to you later. Okay. Bye. Thank you so much, Linda, for taking time out to talk with us this evening and to spend some time. It was so great and such a joy to get to see you again and to get to talk with you and to hear how things are going. So we thank you so much for all that you do for our community and for our community of faith as well. So now we want to take just a few moments to pray together. I know that there's prayer requests on your heart this evening, and you're welcome to share those in the chat if you'd like to as well, to offer a prayer or a prayer request. I'm just going to play quietly for just a couple of minutes, and after that we'll sing a song together. We'll sing He's Got the Whole World in His Hands as we give these requests to God, and as we ask for what our part is in these requests that we offer, how we can be part of God's love and of God's work and of God's mercy in the world around us. So let's pray together. O Lord, hear our prayers. Won't you sing with me? He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. He's got you and me, sister, in his hands. He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got everybody there in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got the whole world 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 in his hands. Amen. Thank you so much for spending time with us this evening, for taking time out to share requests and to pray with each other tonight. And thanks again to Linda for taking time out to visit with us as well. It is such a joy to be part of this community of faith, to get to share with you all and to get to know that we truly are not alone as we continue to walk together through these difficult times. Join us again on Sunday for worship. We'll be back here on this YouTube channel, and you can find us at 11 o'clock as we share communion this Sunday. You can find out more about what to do. You can gather whatever you need to in your house, whether you're, root beer and saltine crackers, or you've got Cheez-Its and some Diet Coke. That's great. We can join in communion with whatever we have. So we'll ask you to kind of gather those items if you'd like to participate, and then we'll have time to do that during the service as well. So we're glad to continue to be able to celebrate the Lord's Supper together, even as we're separated right now. So we hope to see you again on Sunday. As always, if you'd like to join in a Zoom group, you can do that online as well. You can go to lexcentral.com/Zoom, and you can find a list of groups and places that you can join there as well. So we invite you to do that too. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. Go in peace.